Hey Darren, how you doing?
Good, Joe. What's up with you, man?
All right, all right. I've got my caffeinated water, and not that water
What?
isn't good enough. Yeah,
Caffeinated water?
you
What
gotta
are you
add.
talking
Yeah,
about?
it's called
Oh,
bubbly bounce.
man.
I get my bounce. There we go.
All right, man. I'll be looking for that
All
extra
right,
giddy
we'll
up on
see.
this broadcast.
We'll see. We'll see. Guys, thanks for joining us again. It's Monday, it's 2 p.m., and it's time for Real Estate Reality, the live stream with Darren and Joe over at Urban Hillsides Real Estate. Here to bring you a little wisdom, some observations, and we'll also talk about a bit of a new format for us. We talked about presenting the top picks in active listings and the top picks in sold listings. Darren, as we were talking earlier, there's just so many listings now. So we decided to narrow it down and give you what we feel are the better ones. Okay. Of
Makes
course, you
sense.
can
Yeah.
always call us, contact us, and ask us questions about listings you're interested in, and we're more than happy to help that way as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do the disclaimer, Darren, and I know you had some good announcements that you just found out about. So,
Sure.
Darren Hubert and Joe Cloninger are real estate agents at Keller Williams Los Feliz under the Urban Hillsides brand. All opinions expressed by Urban Hillsides or guests on this video are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Keller Williams Los Feliz. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Urban Hillsides as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of Urban Hillsides team's opinions. This video is for informational purposes only. There you go. All right. So yeah, man, what do you want to start off with? We've got trends and observations. We'll go there.
Sure. Like you were saying, maybe half hour ago, I saw this article come out titled "California to Pay Off Unpaid Rent Accrued During COVID-19 Pandemic."
Whoa.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you've been on this broadcast or if you've been in my, maybe within 10 feet of me over the last year and a half, it's
Right.
been kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Landlords typically are said to be able to stand on their own, but they've been thrown under the bus and kicked and stomped on and during this year and a half. And there isn't much empathy thrown our way. But, the state realized it's just, I always support fair, an equal way to go. The landlord should not have paid for this. And it's really, really comforting to see the state stand up and say, okay, we're going to compensate those who've lost the money. And then it also clearly relieves all the tenants who were struggling through the pandemic of having to repay that themselves. I don't know the details. The article was short. It was a headline.
Right.
Doesn't have all the nuances of how to apply and what the limitations will be, but the title itself says a lot. Restores a little bit of faith for me personally as a landlord.
So great. So win for both sides, so to speak. And as you're saying, right, we were also talking about the moratorium. It's right here on the eve of.
Yeah, it's close. 9 days. Yeah, so, they're still talking in California. Here, personally, my guess is this. It's probably good politics that they've now announced this. And, obviously the state has funds that have come from the federal level that is a large portion of where this money's coming from to disperse, to reimburse for rent. But the guess is most likely the state's going to extend the moratorium probably another 3 months. At this point, the county is voting on extending it to the end of September, and the city is talking about it. It's going to happen. And the tough thing that always comes to mind for me is that, when will it end? And
Right.
there's never a good time for it to end.
Right.
But it's going to be extended. So the two together combined are easier to digest.
Right.
So.
Well, I have to say, for the places I travel to, between restaurants and restaurants, there definitely is a sense of normalcy. I've seen just the numbers as I look at people and observe masks off, people are engaging. Business has got to be up. And as you're saying, rent will come as well, back to normal.
Yeah. The other articles were just really talking about trends that it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. And that is, how many people are going back to work You know, there's many articles about people like finding alternate lifestyles or shifting to lower income areas. Conversations about leaving LA. I don't know how well that'll pan out, but you know, people enjoyed not having to work so much and be so stressed all the time. And gosh, I got to tell you, I felt a little of that myself, so I can relate.
Well, I know my wife's company is talking about it, and things are getting formulated, still not set in stone. But when I heard Morgan Stanley, the head of Morgan Stanley, say, "If you want New York money, you're going to come back to New York." So that kind of, I think that's a strong, convincing line.
You know, I read a lot about how we're becoming disconnected and isolated through various means of communication. You know, we don't dialogue anymore directly. What we're doing is very unique, Joe, because we're actually, I mean, we're not face to face with people, but they're seeing us, they're hearing us. You know, people, it's now text, email. Go to work from home, not see people face to face. All of that reduces communication and connection, and connectiveness is huge to promote empathy and inclusiveness. And our society is changing. If many people work from home, it would continue to digress our connectedness as a society.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's see here. So we're going to go off to our subject. Let me share my screen. And we'll go screen 2. And, you know, Darren, you've mentioned it before. We try to find things that are obviously topical for that week. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, but we try to bring it out if it's a new story. And certainly this one has an interesting take on the market. So this is from Bloomberg by way of Yahoo Finance, entitled "Tight U.S. Housing Market Uncoils with Sellers Ready to Cash Out." So I thought that was a really compelling title. Are sellers ready to cash out? And so I know we're going to talk about it in a broader sense from this article, but also, right, you're going to bring it down to a local level.
For sure, yeah.
And this comes really from a question that germinated from one of our clients who was looking out and trying to look around the corner in terms of future. So very appropriate.
It's a constant in real estate. You never stop looking around the corner. But you're always guessing. I mean, that request from that client started by saying, "I know you don't have a crystal ball, but," and that's a very common approach. We don't, but you're still trying to predict the future. And this article brings some really good perspective to what's becoming a little more of a balanced market. It's not there yet by any means, but it's moving in that direction.
Okay. Well, let me get started on it. So that first chart there is titled "Unlocking Inventory. Available listings finally start to rise after plunging to a record low." So you can see there from 2019 to now, there is a trend going up. And we'll actually be able to show that as we get into solds and actives. So, all right, prospective home sellers who sat tight as U.S. prices climbed higher and faster than ever during the pandemic are finally emerging to cash out, a step towards easing a dire shortage in the frenzied housing market. The number of U.S. homes for sale climbed 6.7% in early June from the same weekly period in May, according to House, an investment platform for homebuyers. That was the biggest increase since COVID-19 lockdowns took hold last year. Listings rose in 54 of the 100 metropolitan areas measured, including the regions around Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Detroit, Denver, and Seattle. Sellers are saying, "It's time, let's make the money," said Julie Welter, an agent with eXp Realty in Pittsburgh, which had the biggest supply increase in houses data. With the world opening up again and the vast majority of people being vaccinated, it has given a new comfort level to people. The housing market is a long way from normal, with inventory still down almost 38% from a year earlier and near historic lows. But with bidding wars erupting from coast to coast, and any sign of increased supply is a welcome respite from buyers. More listings also may help ease a problem contributing to the scarcity. Sellers staying put because it's a struggle to find something else to purchase. Throughout the pandemic, home buyers clamored to take advantage of record low mortgage rates and job flexibility to move, only to find the scant homes available were quickly being swallowed up. The median U.S. existing home price shot up 19% in April from a year earlier to a record $341,600, according to the National Association of Realtors, helping owners gain equity. The end of lockdowns also is bringing out sellers who were reluctant to have home shoppers traipsing through their kitchens and bedrooms. Some people also are eager to move closer to the families that COVID kept them away from for too long, said Ralph McLaughlin, chief economist at House. People who were thinking about selling in 2 or 3 years may have accelerated their plans, McLaughlin said. They're selling now to realize the 20% equity they've gained in the past year. Shauna Pendleton, a Redfin agent in Boise, Idaho, said 35 sellers have talked to her this year about listing properties. That's about twice as many as in the same time in 2020, she said. The area has seen some of the fastest price growth in the country, with homes values up 42% in early June from a year earlier, according to Redfin. These are mostly retirees, Pendleton said of her new seller clients. The lockdown has given people a whole new perspective about where they want to live, and they're missing their family. The Allentown, Pennsylvania region, a hot market for New Yorkers and New Jerseyans looking for a more affordable area, has seen listings climb 30% from extremely low levels in early May, according to House, which excluded homes that are under contract from its data. With houses going for well over the asking price, many locals are now being tempted into selling and moving to cheaper spots elsewhere in the state, said Tim Tepps, president of the Greater Lehigh Valley Realtors Group. Even as new listings are rising, homes are quickly finding buyers, he said. Cooling prices. McLaughlin said he expects U.S. home price growth to slow to less than 10% by the end of the year. Demand may also cool as buyers are priced out, especially if borrowing costs start to rise, he said. Federal Reserve officials indicated this week that they expect 2 interest rate increases by the end of 2023, sooner than many thought. The same force leading to new supply may be the same force that reduces the ability of home buyers to keep interested in buying the home. McLaughlin said, that's mainly rising prices. The market for newly built houses may also be easing. Home builders have been jacking up prices because demand was too high for them to keep up with. Now, some buyers are feeling a bit of sticker shock, said Allie Wolf, chief economist for Zonda, a home building data provider and consultancy. About 40% of builders surveyed by Zonda in May listed buyer hesitancy among their challenges, up from about 20% the month before. As a result, the new home market has gone from unbearably hot to just hot, she said. In Austin, Texas, agents are reaching out to homeowners by phone and text, telling them how much they can make by selling. That message is starting to resonate, said Alex Wright, an agent with Local Life Realty. Wright, who grew up in the area, says her childhood best friend's parents, now in their 60s, want to move to the Midwest to be closer to her grandmother. Austin isn't the same place anymore. It has gotten expensive, and there's a line for everything from tacos to coffee, not to mention housing, she said. Wright says her buyers welcome more choice, but winning a home is still a challenge. It's still crazy competitive, she said. All right, there you go.
Gosh, we've just been fortunate to find some articles that really take a broad perspective and in my opinion, pull together all the nuances of what's moving the market in different directions.
Right.
Clearly, you know, starting early on, you're showing that chart and showing an uptrend, and you know, today we're going to basically say, yeah, this is it. We're calling it, just like this article did, and we were ready to do so. I think we have 8+ weeks of listing, more actives than solds, which is an increase in inventory is the bottom line.
Yeah.
And when you have it for a certain amount of time, it is a trend. Doesn't mean it can't reverse, but it's clearly a trend. So you know, it's funny. They say, I remembered this early on in my work career. This, you know, when you give something to somebody, taking it away is the hardest thing. And I think a lot of these trends are somewhat based on that, Joe. I think you gave a slowdown to people. you force them to slow down, man.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are like, shit, I don't want to give that back to you. I don't want you to take that away.
Right.
So what we've been hearing for half a year at least is I'm going to move to a space where it's slower. I'm going to get to a space where my life isn't as busy, where it's a little easier, where I can be closer to family, where the things that are more important to me, I can now focus on. Again, I don't feel far from that position myself. How do we get there? How do we make life better? And certainly this entire pause of a year and a half has put that thought in so many people's minds, and our trends will continue to move in those directions. Now, I assure you, business doesn't want that trend to continue. They're going to want to ramp it up again and get everybody fully engaged and back on that hamster wheel.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens and who wins out.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to add into this, because I've been reading it, is that it's not just retirees, but it's people that are thinking of early retirement.
Yeah.
Maybe they're 5-6 years away. As you said, this is all kind of, avalanching into, big life decisions.
Clearly.
Now it's safe.
Retirees, you're expecting to do it. And maybe then a little earlier. But I'm talking people in their 30s and 40s.
Right.
That are saying, gosh, do we really have to stay on this? Does it always have to be this hard? Certainly being in LA, the cost of rent, the cost of housing, those are the things that we talk about that we're always being pushed up against, affordability. So, interest rates continuing out 2 years. You hear things like, well, they're keeping the party going, but in the end, if the party goes on too long, people crash. And things end up bad. So I don't know, 2 interest rate hikes by the year 2023. That's a long way away. Yeah. That's keeping the party going. It certainly is. And I'm not an economist. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's keeping the cycle continuing that we're in the middle of.
Yep. Okay. Well, great. And so what was our answer to these clients in terms of the local picture, Darren?
Right.
Like it's things are changing, but are they changing that much?
Yeah, this article says it. It again, well written. It for us, the way we phrased it, just in very raw terms, now you're getting 10, 20, 30 offers on properties that are desirable properties. That number may go down to 5, may go down to 10.
Right. And
it's going to limit it. And we'll see when we look at our inventory today that, again, fewer and fewer properties are selling an enormous amount over list price.
Right.
But look, it takes 2 to be a multi-counter and be a competitive situation.
And that's it.
And that's all it takes. So it's still a competitive market, and that there's no end in sight in LA for that. The competition, maybe just less of it. So rather than approaching a property, you should still move fast.
Yep.
Be aggressive if you want something, but maybe it's not going to go up 20% on the offer. So that aggressiveness, you need to gauge that aggressiveness.
Yeah.
But you still need to be aggressive and move fast. By no means does a buyer have an advantage in this market.
Yep.
Still, and is not expected to anytime soon.
So when is the perfect moment? I guess that's up to you. So.
Right. It's individual. It's you've said many times, Joe. It's your personal situation. If it makes sense for you to buy right now. We have people that, ask this question to us and you got to look at your tax structure. If you're a high earner, you're a reasonably high earner. If you can afford to buy a house these days, you're paying a good amount in taxes. It's truly just buying a property alone could help you pay a lot less in taxes and then gain in appreciation. And doing that sooner rather than later could be worth it, even if you feel you're slightly overpaying for the property.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. I put the link in the chat, so feel free to check out this article yourself. And as I also say, whether it's 2 or 200,000, we're here to help you. So if you have questions, let us know. All right. So we're done with that. We will move off into solds. So guys, we'll still be playing it a little loose in terms of observing new listings and solds. You're going to get our take, our observations, our opinions on these places, but we're going to try to categorize them a little bit better, just in simple terms. So with solds, you know, it's going to be a seller win or it's going to be a buyer win. In the rare case, it might actually be a win for both sides, but we're going to designate it that way. So you'll see that. And then for new listings, we're going to talk about move-in ready, fixer, or a remodel rehab project. Again, just to give you a little bit more direction along with all the great commentary we give. Okay, so let me go ahead and look up solds. Darren, you gave some observations earlier when we met. What did you notice on solds?
Sure.
There was some good stuff there.
Well, first off, I was start by talking about the ratio of solds to actives.
Uh-huh.
There are 52 solds, and of those 52, 16 of them are like two developments. So they've been kind of sitting on that. Often they'll pre-sell them or very close to it, but once they get official data, what they need for final COO, they can close them all out in the system, but those have sold previously. So I would say, 52 is even less than 52 in reality because the other one sold a while ago. And 67 new listings. So the ratio is increasing inventory again, as we've been citing and, as that article is citing as well.
Cool. All right. Well, see, the first one we wanted to look at is 2171. Oops, hold on here. 2171. There it is. West Silver Lake Drive. So, let me just open it up. Looks beautiful. Let's see. All right. So this is 2171 West Silver Lake Drive. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,087 square feet of living space, sold at $2,359,000. Ah, beautiful lake view. That's great. It's a lot size of 4,800. It was on the market for 9 days, and it started at $1,988,000. So, wow, quite a jump there. What is that jump? Good Lord.
Yeah, 300 and 370,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's move-in ready.
Yeah.
It's an area of multi-million-dollar homes.
Yeah.
Being on Silver Lake Drive, it's a little busier. You'll get traffic there, foot traffic, car traffic. But it does have a beautiful view, and it's a nice house. The 1 million, I often wonder how these things are presented to sellers, but I would say the 1,988 was slightly below market value and was intentionally listed that way to draw in multiple offers.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this too. How do we evaluate a win or for a buyer, for a seller, or a neutral? We often, as an agent, and most agents in the industry do this, will evaluate price, come up with what we think value is, but in the end, the market's going to determine what the price is going to be. But there are different approaches. You can take an approach that's slightly below market or below market to try to generate interest, specifically for that purpose, knowing that you expect the price to go up. Often we're trying to hit a price that would satisfy a seller. We don't want a buyer to say, hey, I wrote this offer full price and you're holding out for something longer, so that you can get a multiple offer to go above list price. So anything above technically should be a seller win, although often maybe that increased price is expected, depending on how
I feel like
presented.
I need a little bell. When we say seller win, ding, ding, seller win. But
we don't want a show of all bells, Joe. There's a lot of seller wins.
Well, and it does get brutally black and white, right? $371,000 up from a list price. Beautiful home. Yeah, this is a seller win. Good job. This is Carol Stewart from Sotheby's, and then on the buy side, Kurt Wisner and Jeffrey Martin. So congrats to all those guys. Good job. All right, so let's move on. Let's see. Okay, so next one is 1938 Whitmore. 1938. Well, let me do this. All right, here it is. Okay. All right, ink, bink. Okay, so 1938 Whitmore Avenue. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,010 square feet of living space. It's sold for $925,000 and lot size 4,857, and took 29 days on market. And the original list price was $979,000, and then it went to $899, Darren. So an adjustment here.
Can you see? I have a few questions about this one. I know we talked about it, but I want to point out at least one thing that I can see. This was an REO. This was a bank-owned property. Boy, I haven't seen an REO in our side of town in a really long time. But what I'm questioning is whether it's a flag lot.
Yeah. Hold on. It looks a little odd. Let's see if.
For those of you that don't know, a flag lot is basically a lot that the only frontage on the street is a driveway to get to it's a lot that's behind a lot that is fronted by the street. So it's shaped like a flag. There's a long driveway that gets to the property in the back.
So it does look like there's a front. I don't know if that's a street though. Let's see. Yeah. I think this is just like a walkway or something, because there's no street labeled at the front.
Sure.
Unless it's the other side, which is Whitmore. Yeah, so I'm seeing at least one other building before it, which is facing Whitmore. Or
right.
Whitmore.
Yeah, Whitmore.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a flag lot, which is one of the reasons for a lower price, clearly. So again, you don't have direct street frontage. You have access to the house, but you're walking down a narrow pathway to get to it. Because here's another thing that's interesting about this property. I can't imagine this is going to be a new trend. This property looks remodeled.
Yeah.
Painted on the outside, new flooring.
Yep.
On the inside, new upgraded maybe countertops. And so, gosh, I haven't seen an REO that's been remodeled. And I wonder if our whole new pool of REOs is going to have a different look now.
Yeah.
But there you go.
And what is this? A little over 26,000 above list. So
right.
What do we call this? We call this a buyer win.
I call it a buyer win. It's a good house, remodeled house in a very good neighborhood. So for that price point in the neighborhood is quite low.
All right, buyer win. There you go. Congratulations, buyers. This was brought to us by Raphael Dagnesis, eXp Realty, and on the buyer side, Robin Mitchell. So congrats to both. All right. Okay, the next one, 5427 Mount Helena. Okay. 5427. There it is. Okay. Okay, 5427 Mount Helena Avenue. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It's 2,278 square feet of living space, and it's sold at $2,049,000. Good sized lot, 7,127 square feet of land, and it was on the market 41 days. Started at original price $2,049,000. And built originally 1950. This is brought to us by Charles Clark at Compass. And on the buying side, Suzanne Carney. There we go. So what do you think on this, man?
Well, it's a fantastic neighborhood. The only the only drawback I ever hear about in this specific neighborhood is proximity to the freeway, the 134, which it sits below.
Right behind.
Yeah, but the neighborhood itself is just an amazing neighborhood north of Colorado.
Right.
And the house is beautifully remodeled. I think in our conversation about this house, not only because of price, but we kind of called it a neutral.
Yeah.
Buyer and seller win because the price didn't go anywhere, but also because somebody's getting a great house in a great neighborhood. I can't see them having to do very much at all, and I see not only the present value in design, but also future value if they ever go to sell it. So win-win for everyone.
Which is a rarity. So
It is.
That's really awesome.
Damn, the fall of life could only be fair.
All right. Well, great. Congrats to those guys. And let's see. Yeah. All right. All right. Our next one is 1412 Linda Rosa. So 1412. Okay. Okay. 1412 Linda Rosa Avenue, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 870 square feet of living space, sold for $1,212,040.
And 40. Where did that come from? What's the story to that one?
Lot size is 3,840, and days on market 8, and the original list price was $849,000. So quite a move up. This is brought to us by Matthew Jensen from Berkshire Hathaway, and let's see, on the listing side, Brock Harris, Keller Williams Los Feliz, and on the buy side, Rebecca Davidson. So congrats. What do you have to say about this one?
Charming house. I mean, it's indisputably a seller win because the price went up $360,000 again, which is even a higher percentage because it didn't start like the other one at $2 million. So that's a huge win for the seller. But it's interesting, and that it's well designed. It's a well staged house, but it's got bonus space, and that's always an interesting component. When you start looking with a buyer for a while and you can't, and they're having a hard time, they're losing out on offers. They latch onto that term quickly, meaning that it's like, okay, it says 870 square feet, but is there a usable attic, a converted garage, a walk-in basement? You start looking for what will be more square footage, even if it's not legally square footage per the assessors. So, a little win for the buyer on that side, but wow.
Additional unpermitted office is 160 square feet.
Yeah. And then, the other thing you look for in a smaller house is indoor-outdoor flow, connection to outdoor rooms. Yeah. You have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely got the best out of this one, so congrats to the selling side. There you go. There it is, a little office space. Yeah. Okay. Next on our hit list is 5013 Coringa. Okay, 5013. Okay. Okay. 5013 Coringa Drive. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,024 square feet, sold at $926,000. It's on a 6,007 square foot lot. It was on the market for 17 days, and its original list price was $988,000, and then it went to $858,000. So quite a drop, but they made up some of it.
Yeah, they came back to the middle. Yeah. Sure.
This is brought to us by Meg Middleman at Century 21, and on the buyer side, Jose Schneider. So congrats to them. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Gosh, even though it sold over I'm going to call this a buyer win for
Mm-hmm.
a couple reasons. It certainly started higher and nobody bid, so that was a win there. It looks move-in ready.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some upgrades in the near future, but in this price range, that's doable. And it's in a fantastic location on the backside of Occidental College there on Coringa. That's always that entire street's really nice. So location wise, continued appreciation and value, in my opinion, as much as any other neighborhood.
Yeah. And 68,000 over is what? A couple dinners a month. It's fine.
Yeah.
The other thing about Eagle Rock that I'm sure gets built into a lot of people's decisions is the schools. It's not only a great sort of suburby city vibe, but really good schools there. So.
Yeah, you're right on next to Townsend there, which is the cut through between Highland Park and Eagle Rock.
Yeah.
Right on the border. Cool.
All right. Well, that is our new solds top picks. Let's go to actives. Just bear with me here. Okay. All right.
So 67 is a lot. That's a big number.
Yeah.
I think we're typically between 40 and maybe 50s. Maybe averages around 50. So it's definitely, again, that article is talking about how post-COVID, people are letting go and inventory's coming. It's true. When we've been saying this for a while, you're going to have some more options.
Yeah.
As a buyer, which is great. And that this is showing that for sure.
Okay, so let's go first to 840 Michael Terena. There it is. And let's see here. Okay. That's a cute little house. 840 Michael Terena Street, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,560 square feet of living space. Is listed at $1,450,000. It's on a lot of 6,782 square feet. And if you're interested, 622, 11 to 2, there'll be an open house. What is that? That's tomorrow. There you go. Let's see. Days on market. It's only been on there for 4. This is brought to us by Karen Lower over at Compass. So congrats to her. What do we want to say about this one?
Move-in ready.
Yeah.
Lots of original charm still exists, but they've opened up the floor plan in the common areas. Fantastic downtown views from the rear patio.
Yeah. Look at that.
A lot of Mitchell Terena has downtown views. Old growth trees in the backyard. It's a charming house. I see it selling above list price. So this is one to be aggressive on.
$1,450,000. But yeah, like you're saying, it's right in that 1,000 per square foot zone. One thing I thought was really interesting. Did you see the coffee table? What is that? You see that? Is that a railroad tie? What is that?
Let me see here.
With some books propping it up. That's innovative. Look at that, man. It's number 3.
Got it.
That's fine.
That is one narrow coffee table, man.
It looks spacious, though, right?
That might be pushing it, man. Can you find me the narrowest coffee table?
So this is then move-in ready. Here, let me get my. If you don't understand it now, let me. Yeah, there it is. Move-in ready. Ding. All right.
Cool. Okay. Lots of open houses too. You mentioned this one tomorrow, but man, the open houses are flowing again. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to. Oops. Let's see. What did I do? There I am. Okay. Next one is 2811 Scott Place. So let's go 2811. Okay. Let's see. Okay, 2811 Scott Place. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 884 square feet. It is listed at $899,000. It's on a very small lot of 1,985 square feet. Open house tomorrow, 11 to 2. And let's see, days on market 4. Pretty fresh. 1937, the original build. This is brought to us by Mary Regal and Rob Calick of Compass. So congrats to them. What do you think about this one, man?
Sure, I'm trying to figure out that downstairs area. Garage, studio, laundry. So you've got bonus space for sure. Again, small house in the 884. So you have the bonus space. Shows very well.
Yep.
Definitely, the typical condo alternative because it's a very small lot. But nice house, great neighborhood, very good price for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I expect this will go really fast.
And as you're saying, I mean, if you wanted to, I saw 2 garages separate. You got that lower floor. Maybe you'd like to rent it out or Airbnb it. Yeah, there's some good choices here.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Great. Gee, Darren, I think I'm getting the curse that you have, which is I'm identifying light fixtures and from where. And other material.
Once you have that, I'm releasing it and I'm moving on.
Okay.
I don't know where, but I'm done with it then.
All right.
It's my mission to pass it on.
All right. We're off to 1875 Preston. We have a client that noticed this for her family. And let's open it up here, see what she's talking about. All right. Oh, oops. Sorry. Do this. Okay, so this is 1875 Preston Avenue, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and it is listed, 728 square feet. Wow. It's listed at $699,000. It's on a nice sized lot, 7,197. It's been on the market for only 2 days, and original build is 1915, and this is brought to us by Drake Cruz at EXP. So what do we have to say about this one, man? Let's see.
There's not much to say. It's a major fixer. It's mostly land value. I will say this: if there's a lot more value when there's an existing structure. Mm-hmm. Even if it's in terrible condition, an existing garage, even if it's in terrible condition, because those now set a precedent from what you can do going forward on setbacks, on utilities being on site. So it makes things a lot easier. This will be a complete remodel and an addition for whoever buys it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I definitely see why our client would be interested in this, because she is a builder, she is a remodeler. She can see the potential in a lot of things, and this would be a great project for her. I get it.
Sure, and it's sitting on a hill. The view is always nice. The view is always a plus.
The issue is this is for her son. I don't think he wants to do this. So.
Sure. All the dynamics, Joe.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Moving on. Let's see. Okay. We are. Okay, moving to 4516 Stanton. 4516 Stanton. This is a beautiful opening picture. Let's see here. Now, this one was a little subtle for us when we looked at this, but let's just go through it. Take a look. 4516 Stanton Drive. It's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,434 square foot home. Living space. It is starting at $1,780,000, and it's on a nice sized lot, 7,952. Open house, not tomorrow, but Saturday, I believe, and that's going from 1 to 4. Let's see, 24, 20. Oh, Sunday, 1 to 4. Days on market, it's only been on for 1 day, and original build was 1963, and this is brought to us by Paris Coleman. And congrats to her. So what do you think, man? This was a little bit of a both categories. Could be a rehab, could be a move-in ready. Depends upon who you are, right?
Yeah, I think it's move-in ready.
Yeah.
It was not. I think this is an owner who did work while they lived there,
Mm-hmm.
and they cared about the work they did. But they had the house. The whole house was not recently remodeled. It's a big space. It's got a nice outdoor destination.
Yeah.
In an interesting pocket, of Glass Hill Park, up against the 2 freeway. Unless you're looking for houses or know someone that lives there, you'll probably never end up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't been to that pocket, it's worth taking a drive over there and seeing if it works for you. And some of these houses, though, do get freeway noise, so that's something to be aware of.
Got it. All right. Moving on. Let's see. Okay, we are now off to 3736 Lomitas. Let's see here. 3736. There it is. I want to say this is going to be a fixer. Okay, so 3736 Lomitas Drive. Let me get rid of one thing here. Bink. Okay. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,508 square feet. Wow, what a great price! $709,000 list price. It's in El Sereno. It's on a huge lot, 15,065, and weekend open houses Saturday and Sunday, 1 to 4. Days on market 7, and original build was 1952. Brought to us by Victor Mejenes. We know Victor, and Vivian Chang over at Property Concierge. All right. What do you think of this one?
I like this little pocket of Monterey Hills. We sold a house on Lomitas a couple years ago. And it is 2 lots officially. They are side by side, although one of them, the driveway basically goes right across. For a more savvy investor, you could build on the other lot and alter the driveway access and rehab this property. I think that's where its highest and best value is. Right. Or you can just have a lot of land, if that's your preference. Certainly at this price range, it's a fixer, but it's not even as much of a fixer as the other one was. So, right.
I was going to ask you this question earlier because it came up with some clients that we've re-engaged their buyers looking again, and the recurring question was, well, how were things built in 1960 or late 60s or 70s or 50s? So any sort of generalization you can make? This was built in 1952. How was overall build quality at that time? Pretty good?
Right. It was. The one on Preston, there's a little more concern. I think Preston was either 1915 or 1920.
60. Oh, yeah.
Preston was. Yeah, when I see Preston, I think, it's going to need a new foundation. When I see this and you're seeing 50s, sure, it's not going to need a new foundation unless there is some issues and the foundation is moved.
Right.
Obviously, they're both hillside properties, but every building codes are continually changing. Material availability is continually changing, and as it always gets better for the most part. It's not getting worse. So a newer build should technically be of higher quality. One of the differences is that there really was a shift in lumber quality probably in the 80s. Mm-hmm. That's when lumber quality really went down.
Got it.
But 50s is great. Electrical can be good. Foundations are better and reinforced. Not a bad era to build.
Gosh, man, you know who I'm thinking of on this?
James? I have a couple people I'm thinking of on this.
Yeah,
yes,
this is
that's
really
correct. Yes.
And we just left El Sereno a couple days ago with a home that was listed somewhere around $1.2 million or so. I forget the exact number. This kind of house could reach that. Well done, I think. In El
Not
Sereno?
quite the neighborhood
No?
that other one was,
Well, yeah, but it's got
but
view,
you have a ton of land. Yeah,
ton of land.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's got a lot
good,
going for it.
good stuff here. All right, let's get out of here. Our final one is a favorite neighborhood of ours. We've had good luck in this neighborhood. This is 982 Montecito Drive. There it is. Okay, beautiful view. And couldn't have picked a better picture. All right, is it going? There it goes. So 982 Montecito Drive. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-bath. Oh, wait a minute. I know this is sold like just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
1,686 square feet, and it's listing at $1,180,000. Nice sized lot, 7,596. It's on a hill, if I remember correctly. Right, it's terraced down, but some good space. And it is open tomorrow, 10 to 2, and then Saturday, 10 to 1. It's been on the market for 4 days now. Original build was 1962. This is brought to us by Tracy Soy. Ah, I've met Tracy.
And it is a cliffhanger. This one, ironically, I think after you get to like photo 29, it looks partly like a cliffhanger, but it is. It's hanging over the cliff. They just did a lot of built outs underneath that doesn't make it fully look that way.
Right, right. Well, there you go. Great view. I'm sure up the 5 and down the 5. So you've got downtown to look at, and then you've got the valley to look to on the right, I believe. So yeah. And I'm curious, who owns this? Let's see. John Lone. Yeah, that was quick. Let's see. I'm curious what it sold for in the past. Let's see.
It was agent owned.
Yeah.
When it sold.
Yeah. Yeah. Closed in 2020, March of 2020, 989,000 was the list. It closed at $1,065,000. So they're just trying to get out.
Yeah. They want a slower pace of life.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's a beautiful house. If anybody's interested, I like that house a lot. Okay. Well, man, how did that feel? I think
it felt good.
Yeah, I think. The one thing, this is not a fixer. This was a move-in ready. That's my only mistake on this one. Move-in ready to Tahiti. Oh well. So, guys, we'll see you real soon. If you like what we're doing, please support us with a like. Follow us on YouTube. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. And let us know if you have questions. We'd really like to get more questions on the show and help you out. And Darren, I'll see you tomorrow, man. Take care.
Yep, I'll do. Bye.
Bye now. Take care, guys.